Now at 9, find out why a local flight paramedic is getting national recognition.
The Biden administration and new president-elect both looking ahead to January. I'm Rebecca Castor in Palm Beach, Florida, with more on the transfer of power coming up.
And as the seasons change, advice from the experts on how to protect your home from 4- and 6-legged invaders.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A flight paramedic from Chanute, Kansas will be recognized at a ceremony in Washington, D.C. for going above and beyond his efforts to save lives. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more on this story.
Josh Cavanis is a flight paramedic with EagleMed, and he was on his day off when he noticed a broken-down ambulance that had a critical patient in it. That's when he stopped and jumped in to help. The program director remembers how selfless Cavanis was in that moment.
They needed help. He was able to assist.
Cavanis stepped in to help the crew start a blood transfusion and help dispatch a helicopter to transport the patient to Tulsa for more advanced care.
We're able to change a difference in somebody's life, and that's what it's about. Josh was off duty that day. He just happened to be driving at the right place at the right time.
Because of his dedication to saving lives, even during his time off, he will be recognized at the annual Stars of Life Awards ceremony in Washington, D.C.
A lot of our personnel don't get recognized. This one got recognized because he made a huge difference in somebody's life.
Being recognized for it, hopefully this will bring other people, and other people will develop an interest and see that maybe they don't even know about this career path.
Cavanis hopes the award ceremony brings awareness to his line of work and inspires young people to consider a career in EMS, especially in rural areas where there's a need. He says the use of air medical services are in high demand in rural areas. This is because of EMS and hospital staffing shortages.
Our rural communities are, I hate to use the word suffering, but they are, because they don't have all the resources, and that's what we try to bring to the community.
A community Cavanis is proud to serve. Reporting in Chanute, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Cavanis will accept his award during the Stars of Life celebration in Washington, D.C., which lasts from November 11th through the 13th. Congratulations to him. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, definitely turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine across the region. Our temperatures right where they should be for the first week of November. 63 was our high, average high 62. We started at 44, the record 84 set back last year. So you can see a big difference in 365 days. All right, 54 right now in Joplin, 53 in Pittsburgh. We're going to cool back down, mid-40s. Not as cold tonight because we have clouds increasing across the region. Here's our next storm system, which is going to start to roll in as we go into your Friday. Look at these rain chances. So they're low all day, and then they start to spike up once we get into Friday evening, through the overnight hours, into Saturday morning, and then they will start to trail off as we go into Saturday afternoon. We're going to be talking more about this here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, as winter approaches, we all try to stay warm, but it's not just us looking for a cozy spot. Unwanted rodents are also on the move, seeking shelter inside our homes. To help keep your space rodent-free this season, we spoke with an expert for tips. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has the story.
Boxes, Amazon boxes sometimes. They can crawl inside of a cardboard box, in the corrugated area of a cardboard box, and lay their eggs. And then the box gets delivered. Sometimes that's how roaches get brought into your home.
Danny Dickerson is a franchise owner of It's Bugs or Us. He says there's many ways these unwanted creatures enter our home. He says bed bugs are rampant right now.
Bed bugs didn't used to be a thing so much, but now they're just everywhere. Travel's really opened up and they're spreading all over the place.
And let's not forget about those mice.
They find the smallest area to come into your house, and they can get in the size of a dime.
Dixon says another nesting place for animals are leaves gathered around the home.
Trees will drop their leaves. The leaves will fall to the side of the house, which creates a great harborage site for mice.
Cameron May is a wildlife nuisance operator. He mostly deals with larger animals like squirrels and raccoons. He says they are often like humans, seeking a warm home.
So technically, it could be a number of things. It could be for breeding purposes. It could just be for staying warm, getting out of the elements.
May says there are things to keep an eye out for.
Typically, to find out if you have an animal or not, you're probably going to hear them first.
And for those bed bugs, Dixon says there's really one good solution.
Do 2 different treatments for bed bugs. We're always doing heat treatments, which is the best option.
Both Dickerson and May say it's a good idea to ensure all home openings are properly sealed to prevent infestation. Reporting in Galena, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Dixon says roaches are more likely to enter the home through someone or something previously in your home rather than coming directly from the outside. Well, the Wildcat Village at Wildcat Glades got a makeover today with help from volunteers. The Joplin Lowe's store came out to the site as part of the Lowe's Hometown Heroes project. It's a yearly tradition where the store partners with a nonprofit to work on a project together. This year, the Lowe's team joined the Wildcat Glades Nature Group volunteers to help build picnic tables, raise flower beds, and redo their screened-in porch area. The project coordinator says they couldn't think of a more deserving organization.
So everyone was like, hey, I take my dogs down there. I heard they lost their funding from the Audubon Society, so let's go down there and really revamp it. So we're a really outdoorsy, nature-driven store, and so we were really excited to get down here and help them out.
Well, the Lowe's team also donated an estimated $3,000 in materials, which will be used for an addition to be added onto a storage shed. Well, hundreds of area high school students visited Missouri Southern's Plaster School of Business today for the 3rd annual Business Gateway competition. The goal of the event was to bring developmental and recruitment opportunities to area students through the spirit of competition. The event also provided workshop opportunities such as video podcasting sessions and virtual production and filmmaking and advertising, as well as food experiments. The competition also provided potential Lions a chance to check out the campus of Missouri Southern.
Give the local high schools a chance to practice more, get ready for their business contest, but then also we want to show what we have to offer here at Missouri Southern. And so the students that come to participate, they get to meet some of our faculty. There's also events around campus that they get to go to and see part of campus and really just see what Missouri Southern has to offer.
More than 630 students from 32 area schools participated in the event. Well, coming up, abortion access.
Abortion on the ballot in 10 states affecting millions of women. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
But first in Health Watch, November is National Diabetes Awareness Month. What you need to know about the disease and why early detection is so crucial. It's National Diabetes Month, and the CDC estimates more than 38 million Americans of all ages have diabetes, and experts say millions of people who have it are undiagnosed. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains what to know about this disease and why early detection is critical.
It's a chronic disease when a person's blood sugar is too high. Diabetes is common, but many don't know they have it.
For a long time, diabetes, hypertension were both known as what are called silent diseases, meaning they are affecting your body and causing long-term damage before you start to have a lot of physical symptoms.
Dr. Brent Smith with the American Academy of Family Physicians says that's why early detection and intervention is critical to slow or even prevent diabetes progression. So he says to be aware of the red flags.
It's increased thirst and increased urination. So when you're a diabetic and you have this extra sugar floating around in your system, your body tends to get rid of it through your urine.
In addition to increased thirst and urination, Smith says to also watch out for signs like sluggishness, general malaise, or not feeling like yourself. But he says before symptoms start, it's important to see a doctor to be screened and evaluated for diabetes risk.
We would all be a lot happier treating and preventing it than we would be dealing with the consequences of uncontrolled diabetes or other medical conditions.
Smith says managing your weight can reduce risk of type 2 diabetes. Do that by having a healthy diet, cutting out simple sugars as much as possible, and regular exercise.
And the recommendation for exercise is a total of 150 minutes over the course of the week, which breaks down to about 30 minutes of a brisk walk or cardiovascular exercise 5 days a week.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Smith says weight loss drugs are becoming incredibly popular and are very effective as a diabetic drug and for weight loss. But he says for anyone with diabetes, the best thing that can be done is losing weight by whatever means is sustainable and healthy for you. Well, a groundbreaking treatment for type 1 diabetes is showing promising results for patients. It's a minimally invasive procedure that could mean diabetics don't have to inject themselves with insulin. The transplant medication is called tegoprubart. Doctors make a small incision and inject the islet cells in either the pancreas or the liver. And 3 weeks after the procedure, patients stop taking insulin altogether. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later Jasper High School volleyball leaves for the Final Four. John Dales has that story and more in sports.
Well, definitely turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine. Temperatures pretty good. Highs into lower 60s during the afternoon. Looks great out there right now. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, of course, downtown Joplin. On Thursdays, our drought tracker, it always updates. Now, if you remember, Sunday, Monday, we had a lot of rain. Last Wednesday, we had a lot of rain. So I wanted to see, would our drought situation improve? And it did. It's still bad, but it improved. We were in an extreme drought. We've dropped one category back. So a severe drought and then moderate once you get into southeastern Kansas. So we do still need rain, and we have more rain in the forecast as we go into your Friday. The winds are going to be a little breezy tomorrow as well. Easterly winds, gusts 20, upwards to about 25 miles per hour. Right now, not a whole bunch is going on, but those clouds are going to be increasing through the overnight hours ahead of this storm system. Look at the rain west of Wichita. Look at the snow, parts of Colorado, down through New Mexico, where those areas have picked up quite a bit. This is a cutoff low. It's cut off from the main flow of the jet, so there's nothing really to kick it out to the east, so that's why it's moving so slowly toward us, but it will slowly work in over the next 24 hours. Then you got Hurricane Rafael. Look at the little eye wall. This is a Category 2 hurricane, clocking winds at 105 miles per hour. It looks like it's going to stay Category 2-ish, may briefly go to a 3, meanders its way into the Gulf of Mexico by the weekend. Then a lot of questions. Does it just die? Does it lift up toward Louisiana, down toward Mexico? So we're going to be keeping our eyes on that as we go through the next several days. All right, let's look at the rain. Clouds thicken tonight. Cloudy skies by morning. Mostly cloudy all day long. By noon, some showers sneaking in to our far western counties. Rain increases through the afternoon, mainly Kansas and Oklahoma, and then shifting into Missouri and Arkansas once we get into the evening hours. Then from this point on, so here's 8:30, periods of showers and thunderstorms through the night. Nothing strong, nothing severe. By Saturday morning, clouds, showers, but they eject out. So by the noon hour, we break back out, partly sunny skies, nice afternoon, high temps into the mid 60s. How much rain could you get? I think on average, most of us will pick up a ½ an inch, upwards to an inch. There could be some isolated heavier amounts. Our eastern counties will get the lowest amounts from this next batch. 47 in the morning, 60 by noon, high temp, 64 degrees. Let's go into 4-state Friday night. High school football. We are going to be dodging showers and thunderstorms, so if you are heading out, we got a lot of playoff games. 2 of these games, kind of chilly, upper 50s, but we're going to be dodging those showers and thunderstorms, so you definitely want the rain gear with you for Friday evening. All right, 64 on Friday, 66 on Saturday. Sunday looks good, Monday looks good, even Tuesday looking pretty good, and then thunderstorm chances back in for the middle of next week.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, KOAM is proud to team up with Day and Zimmerman for our final Great American Flag Swap. And look for us tomorrow from noon until 1:30. near the Walmart parking lot in Parsons, Kansas, to swap out your tattered old flag for a free brand new one. And we'll only have 100 flags, so you better make sure and show up early. Coming up, the president-elect's liquid gold energy plan.
The president-elect says it'll be drill, baby, drill on day one. But what does that really mean? I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network in energy-rich Western Pennsylvania, and I'll have the story coming up.
Well, the Fed voted unanimously today to slash interest rates by a quarter point. It's the latest move to prevent large rate increases of the prior 2.5 years from weakening the labor market as inflation eases. The rate cut follows a larger half-point reduction in September that kicked off the Fed's first easing cycle in more than 4 years. President-elect Donald Trump vowed a major boost for domestic energy production throughout his campaign, including utilizing our natural resources, rolling back Biden-Harris climate policies, and repeating one of his iconic talking points, drill, baby, drill. Fox Business correspondent Jeff Flock is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with the latest on Trump's energy promises.
The oil and gas industry largely supported President Trump in the election, and when it came time for his victory speech, he didn't forget it.
First day, first hour. We can do many things in the first, but first, we're going to drill, baby, drill. I will end Kamala Harris's war on Pennsylvania energy, and we will frack, okay?
Trump aims to get more of that oil and natural gas out of the ground by cutting regulations on methane, ending the Biden administration's efforts to pause liquefied natural gas export permits, and a pullout of the Paris Climate Accords. Energy was on the ballot, and voters sent a clear signal, says the American Petroleum Institute, that they want choices, not mandates, and an all-of-the-above approach that harnesses the nation's resources and builds on the success of Trump's first term. Big cheers from energy-producing states like Texas, which leads in oil production, and the number 2 natural gas producer, Pennsylvania, where one energy company president tells Fox Business a huge weight is off.
We want to see fairness. We want to see a level playing field. So under the Biden-Harris administration, you saw unbelievable numbers of billions of dollars going to subsidize wind and solar. Just make it a level playing field.
President Trump says he will increase oil production, but ironically, in the last month for which there is data available, turned out the U.S. produced more oil in that month than any country in history. If there was a war on oil, it wasn't going very well. In Pittsburgh, I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
Well, President-elect Donald Trump's win not only sent Wall Street stocks soaring, but it also gave a massive boost to Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency briefly topped over $75,000, a new record, and though it ended the day dipping to about $73,000. Trump pledged to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the planet during his campaign. Stellantis says it plans to lay off more than 1,000 workers indefinitely at a Toledo, Ohio Jeep Gladiator plant, saying the actions are, quote, necessary to enable the company to regain its competitive edge. The layoffs are expected to take place as soon as January of next year. The news comes about a year after a 6-week auto workers strike brought dozens of Big 3 automaker plants to a halt across 20 states. Well, kids learn the fundamentals of basketball during a new youth league underway in Pittsburgh. The story coming up. The Junior Dragon Youth Basketball League is underway under the direction of Pittsburgh High School basketball coach Jordan Woods. The instructional program for 3rd through 6th graders stresses the fundamentals of shooting, passing, dribbling, defense, and the overall team game of basketball. Coach Woods says a big part of the program is creating a culture for Pittsburgh basketball.
But we just want to have that connection with them and make sure they know, hey, at some point, this is how I'm supposed to be playing basketball. Whenever they're out on their own, they're like, oh yeah, coach told me to do this, so I need to make sure I'm doing this whenever I'm playing, and hopefully they hear our lingo. That way later on when they're playing for the Dragons, they kind of know what's going on and what is to be expected of them.
The instructional program runs 3 weeks and teams will play their first games this Saturday. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. The Trump transition effort is beginning. The president-elect's advisors are trying to lay out plans to hire staff, nominate cabinet officials, and turn a successful campaign into a framework for a second term. Plus, 7 out of 10 states voted to protect abortion rights at the ballot box. How the outcome will affect abortion access for some 2 million women.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Moving from celebrations to planning. President-elect Trump and his team are getting ready to head back to the White House. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has the latest from Palm Beach, Florida.
Well, publicly, Donald Trump has been quiet since his historic victory. Privately, he's working with his transition team on who will be a part of his next administration. Some familiar names already being floated for the new Trump administration, including Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum as Energy Secretary, and Elon Musk and Robert Kennedy for key roles advising in the areas of government efficiency and public health.
I'm going to be working with them one way or the other.
The Biden administration also has things they want to get done before they leave the White House. The State Department says Secretary of State Antony Blinken will continue working to free hostages taken by Hamas, improve humanitarian assistance in Gaza, and ensure Ukraine is set up for military success.
We have no shortage of work to do over the next 74 days, and we are determined to make the most of the time left.
As Trump looks forward, Democrats are looking inward, reflecting on the issues that led to their loss. Some placing the blame on President Biden.
I really wish Biden hadn't tried to run. I think doing a full proper run up to the election and picking somebody that the Democrats wanted as a whole would have been a better choice.
But Biden is standing by his decision.
President Biden believes that he made the right decision when he decided to step aside, and he believed it was the right thing for the American people. He put himself aside.
Donald Trump has accepted an invitation from President Biden to come to the White House for a transition meeting. A date for that has not been set yet. In Palm Beach, Florida, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, the election has brought major changes in several state abortion laws affecting access for some 2 million women. More than 2 years after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Fox's Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
Women's rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up like that.
Abortion was on the ballot in 10 states this election day. 3 voted to restrict access, while 7 protected or expanded abortion rights. Pro-life activists scored wins in Florida, South Dakota, and Nebraska, but lost in Missouri, Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, Montana, New York, and Maryland. In Nevada, voters chose to amend their constitution to name abortion as a fundamental right.
I think it sends a clear and loud message that reproductive freedom is popular and supported by a vast majority of Americans.
You realize this is not just the rhetoric that we have been taught to understand abortion. This is real murder.
While in Florida, a measure that would have repealed a 6-week abortion ban and allowed the procedure up until fetal viability fell short of the 60% mark required to amend the Constitution.
I am surprised because this is a very extreme ban that they have in the state of Florida.
After the Supreme Court struck down Roe v. Wade 2 years ago, many Democratic candidates had been hoping the issue would bring new voters to the polls. But a Fox News voter analysis showed that only 11% of the electorate said abortion was the most important issue facing the country, while advocates on both sides say the fight will continue on the state level.
We know that governors have to be in charge of and the legislatures in their state have to own that, and we will need to go back to some states.
Some members of Congress have pushed for a federal ban on abortion, but President-elect Trump has vowed to leave the issue to the states. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later Israeli troops expand their ground operations.
Israel's new defense minister officially takes over command as Israeli forces expand their operations on multiple fronts across the Middle East. I'm Trey Inkst in Tel Aviv. I've got the details coming up.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Thursday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine. Temperatures pretty good. Highs into lower 60s during the afternoon. Looks great out there right now. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Tower cam, of course, at downtown Joplin. On Thursdays, our drought tracker, it always updates. Now, if you remember, Sunday, Monday, we had a lot of rain. Last Wednesday, we had a lot of rain. So I wanted to see, would our drought situation improve? And it did. It's still bad, but it improved. We were in an extreme drought. We've dropped one category back. So a severe drought, and then moderate once you get into southeastern Kansas. So we do still need rain, and we have more rain in the forecast as we go into your Friday. The winds are going to be a little breezy tomorrow as well. Easterly winds, gusts 20, upwards to about 25 miles per hour. Right now, not a whole bunch is going on, but those clouds are going to be increasing through the overnight hours ahead of this storm system. Look at the rain west of Wichita. Look at the snow, parts of Colorado, down through New Mexico, where those areas have picked up quite a bit. This is a cutoff low. It's cut off from the main flow of the jet, so there's nothing really to kick it out to the east, so that's why it's moving so slowly toward us, but it will slowly work in over the next 24 hours. Then you got Hurricane Rafael. Look at the little eye wall. This is a Category 2 hurricane, clocking winds at 105 miles per hour. It looks like it's going to stay Category 2-ish, may briefly go to a 3, meanders its way into the Gulf of Mexico by the weekend. Then a lot of questions. Does it just die? Does it lift up toward Louisiana, down toward Mexico? So we're going to be keeping our eyes on that as we go through the next several days. All right, let's look at the rain. Clouds thicken tonight. Cloudy skies by morning. Mostly cloudy all day long. By noon, some showers sneaking in to our far western counties. Rain increases through the afternoon, mainly Kansas and Oklahoma, and then shifting into Missouri and Arkansas once we get into the evening hours. Then from this point on, so here's 8:30, periods of showers and thunderstorms through the night. Nothing strong, nothing severe. By Saturday morning, clouds, showers, but they eject out. So by the noon hour, we break back out, partly sunny skies, nice afternoon. High temps into the mid-60s. How much rain could you get? I think on average, most of us will pick up a ½ inch, upwards to an inch. There could be some isolated heavier amounts. Our eastern counties will get the lowest amounts from this next batch. 47 in the morning, 60 by noon, high temp, 64 degrees. Let's go into 4-state Friday night high school football. We are going to be dodging showers and thunderstorms, so if you are heading out, we got a lot of playoff games. 2 of these games, kind of chilly, upper 50s, but we're going to be dodging those showers and thunderstorms, so you definitely want the rain gear with you for Friday evening. All right, 64 on Friday, 66 on Saturday. Sunday looks good, Monday looks good, even Tuesday looking pretty good, and then thunderstorm chances back in for the middle of next week.
All right. Well, Pitt State University's Art Majors exhibition wrapped up in its run in the University Gallery in Porter Hall today. Going up in its place next week will be a fiber arts exhibit of student work. It's also open to the public, and visitors can check it out on the second floor gallery. Coming up in sports, Jasper High School volleyball makes history. Plus, the final week of regular season football kicks off tonight in Oklahoma. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Jasper High School volleyball has put together a special run. Not only this year, but over the past 3 seasons, the Lady Eagles are 3-time defending district champions. And for the first time in school history, Jasper High School volleyball is headed to the state tournament Final Four. The Lady Eagles have an eye-popping 34-1 record on the season. They get cheered on by hundreds of supporters as they leave for Cape Girardeau this morning. Now, today's the culmination of hard work for much more than just this season. In fact, much more than just the last 4 years.
They're a very, very special group. They've been together since 3rd grade. They've worked very hard even up till then. When I was coaching them in 3rd and 4th grade, we knew they were going to be something really special. As they went through junior high and into high school, they just kind of came together and gelled. They just work really, really well. They're not just good on the floor, they're good off the floor as well.
I actually started in 7th grade, so I know I was on B2 in 7th grade, and just even going to 8th grade, and I played with them since 8th grade, and just playing as a team and being able to have those connections. I know most teams graduate and then they never play again as that same team, but we have had the same team for 4 years almost, and we've done really good working together.
The final week of the regular season for Oklahoma high school football gets started this evening. Several of our local teams finish their playoff push. The Jay Bulldogs are playing in possibly their final home game of the season. They welcome in the visiting Veneta Hornets. First quarter is where we pick it up. Fourth down play, and Brady Rutherford completes this pass to Riley Bacon. That moves the chains for a first down. Later in that drive, Jay still with the football. Michael Rogers gets the handoff, and he scores the touchdown. Jay makes it a 6-0 ball game. The next Bulldog possession, Jay adds to its lead as Michael Rogers finds the end zone again. Bulldogs up 12-0. They'd hold that lead into halftime. But in the second half, Veneta finds some momentum. Bo Bennett stays on his feet long enough to score a touchdown here. Hornets make it 12-7 game. Next drive for Jay. Ryan Taylor weaves his way through defenders. He's got a nice gain, but hang on. He fumbles the football at the end of the play, and the Hornets recover it. They get the ball right back. Trey Filippi on the recovery. Veneta looks to capitalize. 4th and 11. Trey Tanner with plenty of time to throw, and he connects with Ethan Stevens, scores a touchdown, and Veneta with its first lead of the night, but Jay comes back in the fourth quarter to win it. Final score 18-14. Elsewhere in Oklahoma, at the 8-man level, Welch dominates its regular season finale. Wildcats take down Watts 42-6 on the road. They're headed to the playoffs next week with a 9-1 record. Their only loss was a couple weeks ago on the road at Medford, who's in first place in District C3. Switching gears now to Missouri High School soccer. Carl Junction plays in a district championship this evening. Bulldogs hope to keep their season alive. Now, the Bulldogs fight hard in that contest, but their season comes to an end on the road tonight, one win short of a trip to the Class 3 state quarterfinals. They fall to Springfield Catholic 2-1. No reason to hang their heads, though. They put together an excellent season and finished the year with a 20-5 overall record. Going back to, I was talking about the Jasper volleyball team. One of my favorite things that I heard today, most interesting things, Crystal Smith says she was on the B team in 7th grade. Now she's about to be all-state for the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah. I wonder if she was one of those girls that started off real short and then she got her
Maybe.
height. She's clearly one of the tallest ones
Yes.
on the team. Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks, John. We're back with more news after this. Israel's defense forces get a new leader as troops expand their ground operations on multiple fronts. Fox News chief foreign correspondent Trey Yingst has the latest on the ongoing conflict in the Middle East.
Beirut's southern suburbs hit hard overnight by Israeli airstrikes as the IDF continues its campaign to push Iran-backed Hezbollah back from Israel's northern border. One explosion hit near Lebanon's only international airport. It comes as Iran's supreme leader rallied military groups against Israel, saying the world will one day see Israel's downfall.
The enemy hasn't been able to overcome this organization, and it won't be, God willing.
This week, Israeli troops also expanded their renewed month-long ground mission into northern Gaza. Soldiers returning to areas targeted during the first days of the war to root out Hamas militants believed to be regrouping. All this happening as Israel's new defense minister, Israel Katz, officially takes over command of troops. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tapped the country's former foreign minister after saying he lost trust in popular defense minister Yoav Gallant. In a farewell meeting with the IDF Wednesday, Gallant said he helped change the balance of power in the Middle East.
Things happened that had never happened before, and we set our enemies back decades.
And on the humanitarian front, more than 200 Palestinian civilians were allowed out of Gaza this week for medical treatment.
The patients are a mix of trauma patients, but also chronic diseases. We also medevac a lot of cancer patients.
Meanwhile, the State Department says aid into Gaza still needs to be improved, with the U.S. warning it may pull some military support if the aid situation isn't resolved by mid-November. In Tel Aviv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Two Mormon missionaries are caught in a deadly game in Hugh Grant's latest horror flick. Find out what's new in theaters and streaming after the break. A horror thriller and a holiday comedy are all part of the week's new releases. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Do not fear
afraid.
The Hugh Grant-led horror flick Heretic is in theaters. Its story is about two young Mormon missionaries caught in a deadly game in a man's home, forced to turn to their faith to make it out alive.
I'd want to watch what you'd say about what's there.
Cillian Murphy and Emily Watson star in Small Things Like These. Murphy, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Alan Maloney produced the book-to-screen drama. The film is set in 1985 and follows a devoted father who uncovers disturbing secrets at the local convent and shocking discoveries about his past.
The pageant is sacred.
Based on the best-selling book, The Best Christmas Pageant Ever is about a group of troublemaking kids taking over a local church pageant. The cast includes Lauren Graham, Judy Greer, and Pete Holmes.
Run!
The post-apocalyptic thriller Elevation with Anthony Mackie and Marina Baccarin has a single father and two women venturing from their homes and facing monstrous creatures to save a young boy.
The throne is vacant.
Expanding to more theaters is Conclave with Ray Fiennes, Isabella Rossellini, and Stanley Tucci, about a cardinal tasked with selecting a new pope and uncovering a trail of deep secrets.
I'm Bird. Who are you?
In select theaters, then expanding November 15th, is Bird, written and directed by Oscar winner Andrea Arnold, with a cast including Barry Keoghan. The coming-of-age fable is about a 12-year-old British girl living with her single dad, seeking attention and adventure, who meets a stranger named Bird on a journey of his own.
Tell your mama to tell you about that piano.
Samuel L. Jackson, John David Washington, and Danielle Deadweiler star in The Piano Lesson. The adaptation of the August Wilson play is centered around a brother and sister's fight over an heirloom piano. The film is directed by Malcolm Washington and produced by Denzel Washington. It's in select theaters, then Netflix November 22nd. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of the Cincinnati Zoo's beloved macaw, who loves to organize things. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.